Hey guys, it's TJ and welcome back to my channel, Wake Up and Live. So I know I haven't been on here for probably over a month, and no, you guys, I have not been sick. Yay! I have, however, been dealing with a lot of stress. And the only reason why I know that I've been dealing with stress is because over the last maybe 3-4 months, I lost a lot of weight. And for someone who is as small as I am, losing like 1 or 2 pounds is not good. And I think I lost about over 10 pounds. And a few days ago, I washed my hair and I lost a lot. I mean, you all, it was coming out in clumps. And the last time I dealt with stress and lost a lot of my hair, I was in college. I was completely stressed out, and it was crazy. I was a babe in Christ then, and I really didn't know how to handle it or deal with it at that time. So that is understandable. But now, when you become solidified, I had to take a step back and say, whoa, what happened? What was it that has caused me so much stress? And the Holy Spirit told me, I had to think myself like, oh, I am coming up on my 1 year quote unquote anniversary since telling my family about me being molested as a child. And, that kind of changed the dynamic of our relationship. Totally understandable. But my body began to take on the physical trauma of dealing with that heartbreak and, just coming clean. And also, of course, sharing on my YouTube channel, on this channel as well, how the same-sex attraction spirit attacked me, as a child, and having to deal with that also. And you all, if like I said, if that spirit has attacked you, that is an attack, because, God has laid out in his word, his map, his foundation for how we are to live his way. He has given us the family structure. And when things do not go his way, we have to know that that is an attack. And we know that the enemy, his whole MO is to pervert the family structure. I mean, he comes, as the word tells us, to steal, kill, and to destroy. And he is attacking families like never before. And it's only going to get worse. So we have to make sure that we are not only living the word, but that we're also teaching it to the next generation, teaching it to those in your house. So all of that I have been dealing with just brought on so much stress, and my body began to feel all of that trauma. And physically, I was in a lot of pain. I am doing so much better. I still have pain that comes in and out, but for the most part, my body, I'm doing a whole lot better, because as the word tells us, we have to endure. And that's what I want to just briefly talk about with you all today, about enduring. When I was going through the physical pain, like I said, I never knew pain like that existed. And I was just praying for it to end. And I had all the intercessors in my life praying for me. And, they pray for me on a daily basis. But some things we're just going to have to endure. And I know for me personally, sharing something like that with my family, something that had been kept hidden for so long, of course it would change, the dynamic of our relationship. But guess what? I'm free now, regardless of, what has happened over the last almost year, I'm free. And I know for me, I was always I don't like confrontation. I don't like getting into it with people. I don't like hurting other people's feelings, but not hurting their feelings only hurt me. So I knew I had to do something. And, for me, it was the greatest lift from my heart, from my chest, from my life that I have ever done. And, as I, share with all of you, if that's something that you're holding in, something that is crippling you, something that is crippling you, to get it off of your chest, most definitely, and to release it, but also be prepared for the backlash that may come with it. You may not have any, but just prepare yourself. And live for you. Know that whatever it is that we go through, we have to live our lives pleasing unto God. We cannot please our family members, our friends, our co-workers, people that we go to church with, our neighbors, just anybody that's in our circle. And, holding back, can definitely hinder you from doing and being all that God has called you to be. Your only allegiance is to God. And once you really get that in your head, and know that that's the number one relationship that you're going after is the relationship between yourself and the Father, I could honestly care less about other people's opinions, their thoughts, their views of me, because I have an assignment. Oh yeah, and speaking of assignment, that's another thing. I'm not telling you to air any of your dirty laundry on social media as I have done. I know specifically that I have an assignment, which is why, I started this YouTube channel, because in all honesty, I want to bring to the forefront a lot of the issues that we don't talk about in the church, a lot of the issues that get swept under the rug in the African American community. This is why I wanted to start my YouTube channel, because I want to help someone else along the journey. So now going through all of that and knowing, that my body endured so much physical pain. I mean, there were days I really couldn't even get out of bed. January was the worst month for me. The Bible tells us that, the ones that endure to the end shall be saved. So we don't know, of course, when Jesus is coming back, and there are going to be so many things brought against us, so many things that we're going to have to deal with. And that's just the thing. Deal with it, because when you don't deal with it, that only makes you sick. And look what happened to me. Almost 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And, that just brought up all of these issues that I knew I had to deal with. It wasn't so much of having Crohn's disease or being diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It was me holding everything in that led to that diagnosis. From losing my father at the age of 7 years old, not having any counseling behind that, and literally having to move on as a child when the love of your life, my dad was my first love. We were, like this, and never seeing him again, having no one explain that to me. He just had a massive heart attack and passed away. It wasn't like, he had cancer and we knew it was coming. No, he just like that, So when you have a sudden death like that at an early age, it just shook me. My world was completely turned upside down, literally. And after that, I just shut down. And I didn't know that, you all. And I really didn't grieve his death until I was in college. There was a specific class that I took, and I just bawled in that class. And I have been okay ever since then. But even then, I was still a babe in Christ, so I still really didn't understand a lot that was going on. And now, that I'm mature and still maturing. Of course, we won't be complete until Christ comes back. But now I have an understanding that, I didn't have before, and I'm really understanding the family structure, what happens when that dynamic has been ruined, when it has been broken down, when it is no longer intact, and how it affects everyone involved. So from losing him to, being attacked by the same sex attraction, and, being molested, not sharing that. There were so many things that I held in, you guys. And so I just want to encourage you all, first of all, not to do that, okay? Because you will only hurt yourself in the long run. Please let me be the example. Listen to my story, and learn, and I hope and pray that you take away, one thing that I said, even if it's just one thing, but to know holding things in, no, no. My family, they vent a lot, and I was always the complete opposite. And I said, oh, okay, I should probably be like them, So now I'm talking a little bit more. Make sure you're talking to the right people as well. And it has just done wonders for me the last year. I mean, you guys, I have been journaling in my phone. And when I tell you my phone is like full of, I've just written down, it says at the top, revelations, that all of the revelations that I've come into since I've been journaling. And these phones, they only work for so long. And I've been journaling for so long in this phone that now my keypad is starting to freeze up. That's just how much, look, you guys, that's just how much I have written in my phone. I mean, and it goes back from probably last year up until now. And so I encourage you, also when you receive those revelations, when you get those aha moments, to jot it down just for your remembrance, and just in case it comes back up in the future. If it's something that you need to share with someone else to help them along their journey, make sure that you're doing that as well. And in all honesty, the Crohn's disease diagnosis was literally the best thing that happened to me. It may sound crazy, but it opened me up to so many other issues that I didn't even know, issues that had just been lying dormant for years. And I am so grateful, that I'm still alive. I'm doing well. You guys, I barely hear from my doctors. And to be honest with you, I don't even worry about it. I don't need anything else worrying me or stressing me out. But last year, right before the pandemic, it was actually in January, I had my last in-person visit. And my doctor, I remember my GI doctor telling me that one of his Crohn's disease patients was pooping through her vagina. And I said, wow, and I am truly, truly grateful that everything for me is still coming out where it is supposed to be coming out. I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any issues with, going to the bathroom, number one, number two, anything like that. So I am truly, truly grateful. And, when those illnesses hit you, when you get a diagnosis of any kind, it can set you back. And as I said before, if that's the case, I do want you to take a look into your life and to see, what may have caused this. And, just to begin your journey, you're going to have to begin somewhere, and for me, it started 2 years ago in 2019. I was diagnosed in 2018, but my journey towards healing didn't start until 2019. So it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And now my prayer isn't so much, oh Lord, get me out of this, get me out of this. No. Now, as his word says, my grace is sufficient. So whatever you go through now, in the future, just know he's going to give you the grace to get through it. That's what, Paul was saying, that he was talking about that thorn in the flesh. And he said 3 times I prayed, for God to take it away. No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen for him. And it most likely will not happen for us, but that thing, whatever that thorn in your flesh is, it's what keeps us coming to God. It is what keeps us at his feet. It is necessary. So thank God, for that thorn in your flesh, and you may be going through something completely different. You may be dealing with a wayward child. You may be in the middle of a divorce. You may be dealing with the death of a loved one. You may be dealing with, a coworker that's just really, really, just working your nerves and really, really stressing you out. Whatever it is, just don't run away from it. Deal with it head on. Look, whatever it is, look that thing in the face and just deal with it. Say, no, nope. I'm not going to run away from my coworker, or I'm not going to run away from my child. I'm not going to, allow this situation to take me out, honey, because there were times I thought, okay, I'm not going to make it. This pain is going to kill me, or I'm going to kill this pain. Which one? So once you get that revelation, like, you know what, this is not the end. This is not the end of my life. This does not have to kill you. This does not have to stress you out to the point where, like me, your hair is falling out or you're losing weight. When those things start to happen, okay, you got to really back in, sister, brother. Say, you know what? No, let me give this to God. And that's what he wants. He wants us to come to him. And when we do that, I mean, he says, he tells us to cast our cares upon him. What? Hello? If that is what the scripture tells us to do, why do we worry? Why do we stress? In all honesty, I think it's just the human nature in us. And, in certain situations, we're just going to do that anyway. It's just like a parent who would worry, or stress about their child, but don't hold on to it. Let it go. Give it to God and let it go. And know that there are lessons to be learned along the way. And once we've learned those lessons, then we can graduate to the next lesson. And you guys, I was so stressed that it had completely taken my focus off my assignment. I could only think about the pain that I was in, praying to get out of this pain, and will I live to see the next day? So also, when you have those moments of, like I said, everybody's situation is different, begin to pray for someone else, to intercede for someone else, and allow that to bring you back. Because, sometimes we may wander off. I know I had completely lost sight of, what my purpose is, what my assignment is, because I didn't think I was going to make it. So whatever situation that you are in, do not fail this test. Don't fail it, saints. It's just like when we were in grade school. If you did not meet all of the requirements at the end of the year, you did not pass on to the next grade. And what happens when you fail a test? You got to take it all the way over. I do not want to go back to what I have endured over the last year. Absolutely not. I want to continue to grow and climb, like the word tells us, from glory to glory to glory. That is what I want. So, wherever God has you, don't rush to get out of it. Find the joy in it. It may sound crazy. You may be hit with something extremely hard, but take pleasure in that thing, knowing that God is right there with you. He says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. If that isn't a promise to hold on to, honey, I don't know what is. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down below. And if you have, something that you need to share with a family member, I hope that my journey will make yours less stressful and a little bit easier. A lot of people, most of us, especially those that grew up in the church, we know John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. But how many of us know what 1 John 3:16 says? And it says, Jesus laid down his life for us, and now we ought to lay down our lives for our brethren. So I lay my life down. I open myself up. I've shared so much on my channel, and if it helps just one person, then it was worth it. I love you all to the moon and back. Of course, there isn't anything you can do about it. And until we meet again in the next video, as always, I encourage you all to wake up and live. I don't care what it is that you are going through. You can still enjoy your life, and enjoy your life on a day-to-day basis. Just wake up and be determined and say, you know what? I don't care what's going on. I am going to enjoy this day. Give it all you got. Make the devil mad. My former pastor used to say, when your feet hit hit the floor in the morning. The devil, he should be mad. Yeah, make him mad. Make him super mad. Make him extra mad. Okay, thank you all for tuning into this video, and I'll see you in the next one.